It is a quiet Friday night. Your phone lights up with invites, bars, birthdays, another plan that sounds fun in theory. You walk into your place, change into something soft, put on a documentary, warm up soup, and feel your shoulders drop. Then the label shows up in your head, or someone else's voice. You're so boring. Boring to whom, and by what standard? For a lot of people, staying home is not a sign of disengagement. It is a recovery strategy. Social interaction, even when it is pleasant, still costs attention. Your brain tracks facial cues, tone, timing, and the constant need to respond in a way that fits. That invisible processing adds up. Some people can do it for hours and feel energized. Others feel a slow drain, like their mental battery is being used in the background. When they get home, the quiet is not emptiness. It is a reset. Silence lets the nervous system downshift. A good night out can be real joy, and still end with the need to be alone to feel whole again. Psychologists sometimes explain this through optimal arousal theory. Each of us has a window of stimulation where we feel alert, comfortable, and most ourselves. Some people need a higher level of input to hit that sweet spot. Louder music, crowded rooms, constant novelty. Others feel best with less, softer light, fewer voices, a slower pace. When stimulation rises above their optimal range, the body treats it like pressure. Focus fragments. Irritability creeps in. Exhaustion follows, even if nothing bad happened. So, the preference for home is often the preference for a nervous system that runs better on low stimulation. It is not a character flaw. It is calibration. Another reason home feels so appealing is control. Outside is full of variables you cannot manage. Sudden noise, strangers in your space, plans that change at the last minute, small talk that forces your mind to perform on command. At home, you set the lighting, the volume, the pace, even the amount of social contact you allow in. That control is not always about being picky. For highly sensitive people, or anyone carrying baseline anxiety, it is closer to self-protection. When you can shape your environment, your body stops scanning for surprises, and your mind finally has room to breathe. And there is another piece that gets missed. Being alone can be productive in ways that do not look loud. Quiet gives the mind uninterrupted space to connect ideas, reflect on emotions, and solve problems without constant interruption. Many people who enjoy solitude are more inward-oriented, which can support creativity and deeper thinking. At home, they might be reading, learning, writing, building a skill, or simply letting their thoughts settle into clarity. From the outside, it can look like nothing is happening. Inside, a whole inner world is moving. Home is not always withdrawal. Sometimes, it is where the best ideas show up. Still, the culture often treats staying in as a kind of failure. Social media rewards the visible life. Parties, packed calendars, the highlight reel version of living your best life. Quiet nights do not photograph as well, so they get framed as lesser. But a good life is not measured by noise or audience. Your best life might be a documentary, warm soup, and an evening with no obligations. That is not missing out. That is self-knowledge in action. But there is a shadow side worth naming. Sometimes people stay home because the outside world feels unbearable, not because home feels nourishing. Social anxiety, trauma, and depression can turn the front door into a psychological barrier, and the same space that protects you can slowly shrink your life. The key question is simple but honest. Do you stay in because it brings you peace and energy, or because going out feels too heavy to face? If home restores you and you still feel motivated, it is refuge. If home numbs you and isolates you, it can become a cage. So, if you love being at home, you are not broken. You may simply have a low stimulation preference, a rich inner world, and a natural pull toward depth over noise, peace over performance. The goal is not to become someone else. It is to understand your design and notice when comfort starts turning into confinement. If this resonates, tell me in the comments what at-home activity truly recharges you, and subscribe if you want more psychology-based reflections like this in the next video.